He's been on the run ever since. And they can't find who did it. Mind you, I'm in a 30-inch middle part bust down wig, completely naked, in my twin bed in Chicago. The LED lights are flickering. My mind is spiraling. I said, is he hot enough to keep going?
Welcome back to Girls Rewatch Podcast.
A podcast about girls
TV
and girls on TV. I'm Amelia Rataller.
And I'm Evan Lazarus.
And today we're covering season 1, episode 6 or
7.
Hurricane Wanda. This is my least favorite episode.
Yeah, I really am not the biggest fan of this one.
I hate shit episodes. I hate shit jokes.
Amelia and I went to a place called Storm King yesterday with 4 of our closest friends. It's the largest sculpture garden in all of America. I wish something bad happened on a trip so we could report it back, but it's actually all fun all day.
What do you mean you wish something bad had happened?
The thing is, it's like we had an amazing day, thank God, but if something bad happened, it would have been amazing for the podcast.
Oh, to tell a story.
Right, exactly.
I think stories could be happy. Would it
Not
be
ones
so
I want to
crazy?
listen to. Fine. How can you tell this happy story in a convincing and cool way?
Storm King was so fun, but like I want to say
Well,
that
to come
like
back from a fun trip on a Sunday to a Monday that's actually the bad part of every story.
I just think sculptures aren't very cool.
Oh no, Amelia. Then you missed the whole point.
I know.
What is cool to you then?
I don't know. I thought the picket fence that was mirrors was cool.
No, not the most Instagrammable thing in the whole place is cool to you.
But everything else, I was like, what does this mean? Like some pretentious bitch just like decided to put a large shape in a field and think that it's like high art.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We never actually observed the art the whole time because we were too busy all making gags and jokes the whole time that we could never actually breathe in what was happening around us. We never did one of those like long pondering stares with like a moment of silence where you're really supposed to like take in the majesty of a sculpture of that caliber. All we did was just like be like, hey, you don't need Jack when you can be your own Jill and run down a hill, which is one of Amelia's amazing jokes she cracked yesterday.
Cut that.
Add it.
Cut it again. Add it a third time.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. Did you feel inspired by the sculptures?
This is my 3rd time going to Storm King, and for people who don't know, it's where the Brat pop-up was, where she released the Brat remix. It's the largest sculpture garden in America, so this is my 3rd time visiting, and my other 2 times I visited, I've definitely felt inspired by the sculptures, but this time I felt inspired by my friends.
Charlie XCX's worst songs are more inspiring to me than the best sculptures at Storm King is my stance. Oh, let me read the synopsis.
Okay, here. Away we go.
Season 1, episode 7, Hurricane Wanda. Cold open of Ilana having a sex dream about Abbi while Abbi has a sex dream about Jaimé. That is Jeremy having a sex dream of her. And then 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. This is a 1-location episode. Abbi's apartment. Abbi, Ilana, Jaimé, Lincoln, Jeremy, Bevers, and Bevers' sister Marla, played by Shannon O'Neill, ride out in an upcoming storm. When the water shuts off, Abbi can't flush and employs Ilana to get rid of her shit. When Bevers' sister finds shit in her shoe, a game of whodunit plays out. Abbi takes the fall, thinking Ilana put her shit in Bevers' sister's shoe, but it was really Bevers who did it. Thus, Abbi embarrasses herself in front of her crush, Jeremy. Also, Lincoln and Ilana fart and lick and hump all the stuff in Bevers' room.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we're gonna try and talk about that much of shit. I hope we get on to other stuff because I really don't care about this.
Well, I actually think that's the thing we should talk about is us not caring about that.
Okay, you're right. Okay,
that's an interesting angle.
Should we cross dissolve to our guest?
Please.
Joining us on the couch today, the one and only
Anania. We were so happy to have you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! The breath!
Wait, guess if we're gay or straight now.
Oh, we all know. Let's move on. Ask me a real question.
We're so excited to have you today. It's the day before the U.S. election. Just for context, everybody listening now, if the vibe doesn't match the vibe of next week, don't worry about it.
I mean, it might match the vibe in the way that we need anarchy and destruction.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes,
we should have an intro of Trump wins and an intro of Kamala wins.
Yeah.
Let's just get 2 versions.
Yeah, right. That's the whole app.
Wade, how are you today?
I'm good. I had a really good turkey, egg, and cheese from a bodega.
Wait,
Oh my
turkey,
God.
egg, and cheese?
Yes, I've been getting into it.
Is it sliced turkey?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh
It's
my
turkey could be
God.
bacon.
No, yeah. It's like brunch. It's like a little brunch.
That is
know?
so brunch.
Brunch on the go.
It's
Yeah.
sort of
I've been
Chick-fil-A
getting
breakfast menu. you.
Okay, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Maybe don't take it there. But yeah, I see where you're going for. Yeah. But I'm good. What did you guys have for breakfast?
Okay, what did I have? Oh, I was actually in Westchester for breakfast
sorry,
today.
Okay. Sorry. Anyway, you said
Your
Westchester.
drag remixes.
Okay,
You
sorry.
just add come anytime you want, by the way.
Like at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make it a soundboard sound. Just press A every time.
All I had was 3 eggs on one of my mom's famous English muffins.
Oh, cool.
She doesn't make them. She
You
just
were in
buys
Westchester?
them.
She just buys them.
I was in Westchester. I took a train to get here today.
Oh, nice.
I know. It was fun to be in a different part of the state than coming to here. It always puts me in a weird mood. And what did you have?
And
'Cause
I just want to ask, like, does Greek yogurt go bad?
Yes. What?
I know you're. I think there's like a. I think it does go bad to like eat, but you can like use it for other stuff or whatever.
Okay, well, I used it to eat this morning. It was the Trader Joe's Greek yogurt. I put it in my smoothie, and I don't remember buying this Greek yogurt, but it's definitely been some time.
What else can you use Greek yogurt for
I don't
other
know.
than eat?
It's like one of those. It's like those things I read in like passing. It's like I saw a TikTok and I was like,
You're
should
making
use
like
your Greek
clay out
yogurt
of it?
or something. I don't know, some bullshit like clean your walls
You
with
could
Greek
spack
yogurt.
your walls with
Yeah,
it,
I was
fill
like-
the holes in.
I actually
like,
got some
cool.
spackling I need to get done. Maybe I'll use Greek yogurt.
I have some spackling. You can get done.
Come.
Yes.
Add it in.
Oh my
God.
god. We're so excited to have you here today for an episode we both hated.
Yeah.
How did you like it?
I'm gonna join the choir here and say I also did not.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm so sorry. But
This kind of
that's
comedy
good.
isn't like my favorite, but I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk about it.
Yeah, no, wait. So let's get into it. What's your deal with Broad City?
Like my experience with it.
Yeah.
This is my first time watching it, and I was kind of gagged when like Evan asked me to be on here because I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. I thought it was just Broad City themed.
Yeah.
I thought the name. I don't know. I didn't know you would be like watching the episodes.
And then we were like, here's your episode.
and
Study
I was like, okay, so I need to watch Broad City.
for sure.
So I literally watched all 7 episodes yesterday, up until 7.
Oh my god.
There's just something so nefarious about when the punchline is screaming, like that.
Right.
That always just takes me out of it. But with this episode in particular, I thought like being in a hurricane is fun. I always I always love those kind of episodes where it's like there's a theme,
Yeah.
stuck in a room,
Yeah.
like that kind of vibe. I love. But the shit in the shoe.
No.
I was very
Hey.
unhappy.
We are better than this.
Yeah.
We are more talented than shit in a shoe.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Well, we'll get into it, but a lot of the show there are like very highbrow jokes. You're like, oh, this is my mom,
Yeah.
my aunt who's a doctor / dentist, but mostly doctor. She laughs at these kind of jokes. Like she went to Brown and she's having a great time listening to this.
Nice.
But she's not gonna love poop in a shoe, and I was thinking that the whole time I watched this episode.
Yeah.
She was gonna turn off for
What
this
do you
one.
mean your aunt's a dentist and a doctor?
I accidentally said dentist and I ran with it. It's called improv. Yeah.
Absolutely. You wouldn't get it.
Oh my god. Well, before we get into the broad and butter of the episode, we have a very important question to ask you.
Okay.
Girl, what girl are you?
I feel like I'm low key Abby's boss.
Trey?
Yeah, whoever that one is.
Yeah, played by Paul W. Downs.
Absolutely. I
Yes.
love him. I'm also probably I really like what's his name in the show?
Lincoln?
Yes, he's hilarious. I love his stand up too.
Yes, we love Hannibal Buress.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait,
I think
what
I'm one of
makes
those
you a
two.
Lincoln?
I think we have the same type of humor, like the very dry punchline kind of type, and I also think something about I've been here having sex with somebody who hates you. It's just relatable to me. You know what I mean?
You're like, I'll die for you. They're like, I'm in love with my best friend.
I'm willing to spend my entire salary to make you happy. And
Yeah.
Right.
I actually am gonna go hook up with my best friend who doesn't know she's bi yet.
Why is that a theme of every guest on this podcast?
I know.
We're always finding people who are like, I'm hooking up with my best friend who's bi and she doesn't know yet.
Oh God.
Yay, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
It's all NYU students or people hooking up with their best friends who don't know they're bi yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's not an or, it's an and.
It's an and.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Wait, who are you guys?
Okay, in this episode, I mean, I might use a classic line where I'm like, I don't necessarily see myself in this episode because of the kind of humor that's being put
Absolutely.
But if I had to pick, I'm Jaimé without the bad stuff.
Okay.
And I can go into that more, of course, but don't make me.
Well, I'm just gonna say that you have switched our chargers before.
Oh,
that okay. I'm still learning names.
Right. I'm
Okay.
Jaimé with some of the bad stuff then.
So
Right.
Jaimé in the episode
The
is
Spanish
like,
guy, right?
yeah,
Okay.
he's like, Ilana, I'm really sorry, but a year ago I switched our chargers, and every time I see you try and plug in your charger, it doesn't work. It's never gonna work. I'm sorry. And Ilana's like, no worries.
There's a lot of confessions from that.
Jaimé.
And the last one I did not like. I did
Yeah,
not.
that was crazy.
That was
upsetting.
crazy. When you went up to Lincoln, it was like, hey, by the way, I knew this guy by the name of N-word. Okay.
He called
right.
his turtle that.
I was like, I think I'm going to stop
Right.
here. Perfect. All right. Okay.
Like, I'm glad I don't have to watch episode 8.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we want to get into it now, but it's like the part of the show, it's like I keep finding it more offensive than Girls, but Lena Dunham takes so much more heat than ever Broad City did.
Sure.
That is so true.
I wonder what it is.
There's in this episode, there's fat phobia. They like punch down at homeless people and addicts, and then they like make a joke about the N-word. It's like,
Yep.
which is like, and then they make
They
like,
really, this episode, it was like so many.
I love I think in episode 6 where I think Abbi was like, sometimes you're so non-racist, which makes you even more racist.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that.
At least they know. At least they know.
Yeah, they got something out of me with that one.
But yeah, I was gonna say I'm not in this episode at all.
Right.
I was sitting there, I was watching it, all 8 characters in the room. I was like, not even one of them I like.
I know this is an upsetting episode. Who's this episode for? You know what? Okay, I will say this. I did a show earlier where it's like a comedy show. It was a sketch show, a live one. And I was reading the script before, and it was like a lot of like poop and sex jokes. So I was like, I don't know if I really get it. It's like, it's okay. I'm glad these people are having fun. We get to the actual show and we do the performance. People ate it up so hard. They loved the poop jokes. They loved the sex jokes. Like it went, and I think it's like you really have to like. It is a very specific kind of humor.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get into who likes that kind of humor and why.
Yeah.
Yeah, all love. At the end of the day, I think it's amazing that girls get a stoner comedy where they can be like this, but
Absolutely.
I don't want to be a part of it.
So
Yes,
I couldn't
that's a big
have said that
feminist
better.
angle.
And we'll get more into that after the break.
Yes.
Yes.
I love breaking.
And we're back. Oh my god.
Oh my
Are you ready
God.
to get
You
into
ate
the
that.
bread and butter?
I am.
Well, first off, fun fact, this episode was written by Tammy Sager, who I brought up a few weeks ago because I was listening to an old episode of a podcast where she was the guest and she told the host to read Follow Your North Star. So I read that self-help book last month. But anyways, she was also a writer on Girls. She wrote the season 5, episode 5, Queen for 2 Days, where Hannah and her mom go to that wellness retreat. And she also wrote the season 6 episode, the Elijah ep, where he auditions for Broadway. And then she wrote this episode of Broad City and the Apartment Hunters episode of Broad City, is the one with Amy Sedaris that's coming up. So while I hate this episode, I love some episodes of television this writer has written.
It's so crazy for her brain to be able to write these kind of poop jokes and then also write some of the most confronting pieces of media in Girls where it's where they talk about lesbianism and the relationship between daughter and mother. It's how does one do both?
It makes you question the budget.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
It makes you, well, I will say Broad City has 40 locations an episode.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're halfway through the season and they're like, can we please just stay in one room? And so it's amazing to have an episode where it's like that. But I also feel like it doesn't work for the show.
This specific episode?
Yeah.
Or one location? Well,
Like
the
one
third character is
location.
New York, and New York's not part of the episode. It's we're losing something.
Okay. I thought it was since it was my first time seeing this, I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of nice to finally have everyone in a room.
Yeah.
To just
That
sit
is
and try
true.
to drill names, characters, and what they want. It
That
was
is
weird
true.
to add the sister of Bevers though. That was a weird addition for me.
Literally.
Which I
Marla.
Yeah, I feel like they could have gotten to the exact same drama without that added character.
I
I
wish she wasn't
agree.
there.
I just don't know why. I didn't
No,
get it.
she added almost nothing.
Yeah.
All love. It's
All
not a fun character.
love.
Well, did this episode register to you as like a Sex in the City when they go to LA kind of vibe?
Or like maybe like no.
No, it's not that.
We're like, we could stretch it if we really need to.
I'm like, is it kind of like a destination episode in a way?
Sure.
Sure.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bottle episode of sorts.
Yeah.
The Marla Bevers duo reminded me of Kristen Wiig's roommates and Bridesmaids.
Oh my god.
I couldn't unsee it.
Yeah. Wait, yeah.
Where
That's
it's just like
perfect. Yeah.
so like annoying together, and like you already hate the one, and now there's like the double trouble of it all. I guess it was like to heighten Abby's frustration, because like Bevers has been the same level of annoying for 6 episodes. How do we
Sure,
heighten
okay.
it? Like
Yeah.
let's add like Bevers' counterpart.
Absolutely. Okay. I see what you're
But-
saying.
I was devastated. Shannon O'Neill taught them improv at UCB though, so it was very full circle. I'm sure from
that's
the
the person that plays Bever's sister.
Thank you.
yes, and so she's like one of the most famous like teachers at the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh, cool.
UCB.
So I'm sure it was like a cool full circle moment for
Yeah.
them to like have her on the
And
show
I
and
hate
stuff.
to add this in right now because it's not on topic, but Olivia Rodrigo was spotted at the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yes. No, thank you for bringing that up.
Spotted. Thank you for your investigative
People were
journalism.
wondering where she was November 1st, and it was at Cage Match NYC. Did you ever do improv?
It depends. Okay.
Right. It's your experience with Broad City too.
The question, if the question is, have I? Yes. If the question is, did I like it? Yes. Will I seek it out?
Yeah,
No.
No.
Well, whenever I do it, like whenever I'm
Uh-huh.
like a guest, like with like an improv team or whatever, it's fun. But I never want to.
No, you've done your time.
I've done my. I've
Yeah.
done the work. I know the
Wait,
foundations.
what's your backstory really quick?
What do you mean?
Like, how long have you been in New York? Like, what's your story?
I've been in New York for a year, like literally today. Oh my god!
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
Oh my
today?
God.
Today.
1 year
yeah.
anniversary.
Wait, tomorrow's my 3 year.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Nice. I lived in Chicago last year, and I did
Cool.
2 improv thingies, like
Oh my
improv
god,
gigs.
totally.
One of my friends who did Kinky Boots with me, they were in like an improv troupe or whatever, and they wanted like a team of drag queens to go against them. So I did that,
Love.
and then
Wait,
there was like
that's so
some
clever.
other one
And you don't
like
have to remember.
one-off thing.
It-
Yeah,
I'm sure it involved Olivia Rodrigo.
yeah.
She
And I
was
did
there,
improv a
yeah.
bunch. Oh, she was. Me and
Yeah.
Olivia Rodrigo, we acted together.
And you went to school for musical theater?
I did, yeah. I went to school in Boston at Emerson College, and I did musical theater.
Oh my God, that's
Oh
like
god.
a cool one.
We have
Yeah.
so many Emerson. We've Peyton Dix, everyone.
Peyton Dix.
Ivy
We're
Wall.
Peyton Dix,
addicted
also
to
on
having
GAYDAR.
past Emerson students on the pod.
And what does that say about your podcast?
I
Right.
know. I know.
Oh.
Most girls had a terrible time at Emerson. Did you have a good time?
I only liked it enough to graduate.
Got it.
That's my
That's
answer
such a
every
good
time someone.
sentence.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't
No,
gonna. I
absolutely.
wasn't gonna leave. I didn't like it so much so where I felt like I needed to transfer.
Yeah.
I didn't. Did I say that right? I did not like it enough.
No, you did it. You said it completely correctly.
You didn't
Okay.
not like it enough to transfer.
I almost had that experience.
I did not want to transfer.
Yeah.
I
Is this-
transferred.
is
I
it-
only applied to one school, so I completely understand.
See,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, is the question, would I do it again? No.
That's how I feel. I'm like, I guess it was fine that I did that.
Yeah.
But I wish I had done something else.
And I love the people that I met. Like when I think about college, I think about more so the friends that I made, which
Aw.
is,
Yeah.
sad that I spent so
Beautiful.
much money to make friends. But yeah, that's really what
I'm
it
glad
is.
you don't live with regret, but do you think these girls are from this episode?
Oh my God. There was just so much. There was so much.
Did you like that?
There was so much.
Well, I want to say that I listened to Ilana Glazer on, I think it was called Talk Easy. It was like some Vulture podcast talking about Broad City and how much like she thinks it doesn't hold up and how much she would change so much of it. But that, and like, it was basically sounding like she hadn't really even come around to a place where she wanted to revisit it or was like necessarily like proud of all of it.
Sure. I mean, it's hard to make things that are going to be timeless, you know?
Right.
You have to do what you know, right? And then whatever, when was this made?
2014.
Yeah, I feel like at 2014, this is what they knew. I'm
Yeah.
not
Right.
upset by a lot of the things in it. Again, I think it's just like it's not
Right.
timeless for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so much about comedy is about context, right? So
Yeah.
like during the time period that this came out in 2014, and like this was really progressive. The comedy was really progressive. Like it was telling, like interesting jokes from new angles, like women doing poop jokes. That was something cool and fun going on.
Yeah.
And today's zeitgeist is like actually the thing is I'm glad women got to explore poop jokes and they moved away from that.
Yeah.
We don't have to see that so much anymore.
Absolutely.
And it's like that's one of the big problems with comedies, and like they don't hold up always the same. And like there's plenty that do, but a lot don't hold up because they're so based around time and context.
Mm-hmm.
And this because of the context, it doesn't hold up.
I was just saying the other day that a lot of like animated comedy has stood the test of time.
Really?
Right. 'Cause they built the
Madagascar,
world.
Shrek,
It still works.
something else.
There was
Simpsons,
Family Guy.
Family Guy. Season 1 of Family Guy is so funny.
Yeah, it really is.
Hilarious.
I did watch The Simpsons last night. It's not so good.
I
Okay.
don't
But we don't
watch
have to get into
animation. Aren't they still making new episodes?
Yeah, no, I
Yes.
was watching a new episode of Simpsons, and it was about like I don't want to get it. I don't know if we're gonna go down the
Right.
Simpsons hole. All it was, it's like anger created two monsters that are now fighting it off, and the anger was created from Democrats and Republicans. So now there's a Democrat and a Republican monster fighting,
Ooh,
and that was the whole premise of the episode.
love that.
It's kind of ridiculous. Love. Okay. Sorry, this episode is so hard to talk about.
No, we're having the
No,
time
we're
of our
friends.
lives. If you had a dog, I'd be dead, bitch. Okay, let's get into it. Have you ever had to? Well, first of all, Hurricane Wanda is a fake hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
Based off Sandy.
But then I Googled Hurricane Wanda and it did happen. It was category 5 in 2021. So they predicted.
It's The Simpsons.
They
And it was called
predicted.
Wanda?
It was called Wanda.
Shut the fuck up.
Do you think they called it Wanda because Wanda Sykes?
No.
I thought so. That was my first impression. But
Yeah.
I didn't see Wanda Sykes, so I was
She
like,
wasn't in
maybe-
this episode.
Yeah, maybe
but
not.
she's in a later one.
Oh, okay.
So she's on their hearts and minds.
Maybe it was a manifestation.
Well,
yeah.
And then they went too close to the sun.
It's based off Sandy, so I guess it's just
Oh.
like another 5-letter.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Because Sandy was 2012, right?
I think 12, yeah.
Yeah, 2012. So it's kind of like what
Oh,
it
'cause
was
it
like
was
to
on
be a
the
New
map.
Yorker. Exactly.
Have you guys ever like been in a hurricane?
No, I've been in a tornado, though. I'm from Iowa.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Oh my
Tornado
God.
Valley.
I hope it goes blue.
Oh, I
And
think
then-
so. I think it
and then,
might.
well, if Trump wins, oh no, it didn't go blue.
I'm disappointed in you, Iowa. That's why I left.
I've been in so many hurricanes. It's ridiculous. That's
Really?
my big
Because New
story.
Orleans?
Well, I lived in I went to college in New Orleans. We had plenty
Not
of
that
hurricanes
it's
there.
always getting hurricanes.
But I went. Okay, so many. I'll just go really quickly, rapid fire.
Okay.
My bar mitzvah, we had to move it a whole week forward because of a hurricane that was hitting, and we like had to get all the guests to come earlier. So that my life was destroyed by a hurricane. Then I was here for Sandy. Nothing terrible happened to me. I visited Hawaii for one time only. They hadn't had a hurricane in about 3 decades. The week I was there, they had a hurricane. Next
it
year,
sounds like
my brother's
you
bar
might
mitzvah
have problems.
You're the
location was
bringer of
destroyed
death.
by Sandy. And then I was in New Orleans, and we constantly were getting hit by hurricanes.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And I'm going to bring her of death.
Whoa.
I feel like this was giving COVID quarantine vibes.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my
that's a
God.
good no.
Yeah.
Like, were you ever sheltering in place with like 7 people?
Like, no. It's always been like me and someone.
Right.
You know, it's
Oh,
never
You had
been
a
really?
pod.
there was never more than when in COVID for me. There was never more than 3 people in a room,
Really?
like
Whoa.
ever, for like a year.
Oh my
And then when we
God.
went back to school, they like completely shut it down. I was an RA, so I had my own room, and like there was like I barely socialized for a year. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
I miss it all the
The
time.
year I was an RA, it's like I wasn't allowed to be friends with anyone.
Yeah.
So it was a year of me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, okay.
That's so funny.
It was really
LOL.
lovely.
I constantly was like living in houses of 8 to 7 people during COVID,
Jesus Christ.
which was I definitely kept getting COVID for that reason.
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely.
I
It was
I
never
lived
lonely.
with 2 random girls on Facebook, and they had 3 friends that were always come over, and they were like, "It's okay, like we're
in a COVID bubble or whatever.
yeah." And it was just like a lot of playing. We're not really strangers with like this tight, close friend group, and me
Oh.
being like, "Hey, like I'm from Texas. I just got here."
Well,
But it was
I
okay.
think another thing this is like it's really like summer camp. Like I do think it's interesting if we were to take away
This episode.
yeah,
Okay.
like if we were to take away our phones, like, and that's because they don't have electricity or service.
Yeah.
Like we take away our phones, our technology, we don't really have power. What would we do? We'd be playing camp games the whole time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'd be setting something on fire. Like that's
Mhm.
all we would want to do.
I also think, and maybe they didn't have the language for this, but at least half of them were overstimulated that entire episode and they just needed to be alone, which I get. And I'm like, damn, like I wonder what would happen 10 years in the future. And we were all like reading books and coloring.
They'd be like, I actually needed a mental health moment.
Yeah, I actually don't want to talk to you guys right now. I still love you though, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? That's all they needed. They all needed to sit the fuck down and just chill out. That's what was pissing me off the most. That's another reason why I was like, I could not be in this room right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'd go out into the fucking hurricane.
You're like, I'm just gonna go for a mental health walk.
Yeah, like at this point.
Did you go to summer camp?
I did. Yeah, I went to this. This is sad.
You're gonna say theater?
No, I went to a camp for kids whose parents had cancer.
What?
Oh my god.
What was the vibe?
It was called Camp Kesem. I loved it. It was great.
I'm sure it was awesome.
It was community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sisterhood.
But did you guys talk about cancer at all?
Yes.
Imagine you're not allowed to bring it up.
Well, we talked about it all the time, but then there was like one big day and you wrote down your little story and you got up there and you like recited it. It was really nice. I miss it all the time.
I think it's amazing when there's a summer camp like with a theme.
Yeah,
then
me too.
it's like, oh, you find the exact community you need.
Mm-hmm. I also wanted to be a counselor, but you had to go to a specific school with like
really
like that. Like I wanted to be a counselor at the one that I went to, but I'd have to go to the school, like the college that was hosting it, and I didn't want to go to school.
You want to go to Emerson?
Well, I didn't want to stay in Iowa, so I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
There's so many specific camps. My best friend from middle school, his dad passed away in 9/11, and he went to camp for only kids that had parents that died in 9/11.
Oh.
And I remember during the time, I mean, of course it's awful, but I was like, I'm so jealous he gets to go to sleepaway camp.
Sleepaway. Oh God. Did you guys go to summer camps?
I did go to sleepaway after that, but I was like, for one summer, I was like, he's so lucky. This is awful.
I went to like Christian camp where they like converted us to Baptist.
Did you have gay sex while you were there?
No.
Ooh.
Oh my God. I was always like, the boys and the girls had to stay 1 mile apart. I didn't even think about gay.
Oh, come on. That's the best time.
I know. But we were just being Christians.
Damn.
Wait, were you having gay sex at cancer camp?
Legally, no. No, I was not.
That's so funny.
I did work my first summer of college. The summer Lord's Melodrama came out, and Ed Sheeran's Shape of You was popular. I worked at a Jewish summer camp in Canada.
That's kind of like gay sex, right?
Like, no. I can't sign off on that.
There was nothing gay there, though.
But yeah, but I support you and I see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I can give you in this moment.
Oh my god, I can't believe Abbi even like had enough confidence. I mean, she really had to go to the bathroom, but like to poop like that in a public setting.
Okay, can we get into that? Like, what would you do in this situation? Like, how would you give it?
We've all been in a situation, and maybe we haven't but like we've all clogged a toilet at someone else's house, and it's one of the most horrifying feelings ever.
Absolutely.
I remember I clogged that someone's like. It's such a sad story. Never mind.
Okay.
Well.
And that's the episode.
All right. Thank you. I have to bring up my experiences with cancer, but we can skip over Evan's sad story.
It keeps me about like dead people and how I'm jealous of them. I can't. What is wrong with me?
Oh my God. So maybe you are the bringer of
What is going on?
It's never like this.
Yeah. So if I was Abbi, I would get water bottles and fill up the tank.
I was so upset that no one knew how toilets work.
Yeah, I was like, by the way, like it's not so
It's
hard.
literally not like you just need to fill the tank up to flush
Yeah.
it. Like
but if you
there's no electricity needed in a toilet. You know what I mean? Huh?
Well, if you listen to what they brought as provisions, they're like,
oh yeah,
light bulbs, batteries, Starbucks. So what they'd be filling in the tank is a Frappuccino, of course.
Which could work.
Which could work.
By the way.
If it was a venti.
Yeah, if it was venti, we're set.
You know.
I just thought it was annoying that they had duct tape in the bathroom. Not realistic.
I also would have probably just duct taped the toilet shut. No one gets to use it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I would be like, hey, so the toilet's clogged. Everybody can go to Jeremy's house.
Absolutely.
Well, everyone knows the first rule of
crisis
a
averted.
hurricane
Absolutely.
is you fill up the bathtub.
What was that?
The first rule of every hurricane is you fill up the bathtub.
Right.
Everyone knows that.
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Fill up the bathtub with water
You fill up the bathtub with water.
Why?
so you can drink.
So you can flush a toilet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
right
didn't
there.
think of that. But
Well, Evan has experience.
With a
yeah.
lot of
With bringing
hurricanes.
Where you can't really get into the details though.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first apartment in New York had a thing where the tank would just not fill up half the time, and so you'd have to we had like a bucket that we'd fill the like shower water and like refill it ourselves.
In my house, like the house I grew up in, the toilet never worked. We always had to fill up a bucket.
So annoying.
Yeah.
It's so annoying to wait for the bucket
Sorry,
to
was
fill.
that too Iowa for the group?
No,
We all
I
went
loved
quiet.
it.
That was so good. They were like, oh.
I'm like, Iowa seems
Yes, I grew
awesome.
up in agriculture.
Gun to my head, I don't know where Iowa is on the map.
It's so. Do you see where that Missouri is? It's literally right above it.
Oh, above the pink one?
Yeah, it's above Missouri.
Okay, so it was like kind of cold.
Yes,
That's a good way to look at
kind
it.
of cold. Yeah.
That's
I
so
love
funny.
it. Would you ever get your friend to help you in a situation like that, or you're on your own?
I fear I'm the friend to help in that situation,
Right.
which sucks, which really, really sucks.
You think people come to you?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
I really hate that I set myself up to be like that, but yeah, I think I would never put myself in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that it's comedy and we have to get some
have to
stakes in
laugh.
here. Right.
Right.
But like I just literally I wouldn't even have been able to write this episode because I cannot think of a place that I'd have to be in
Yeah.
to shit in a toilet that doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a problem with TV half the time. You're watching. It's like this is the most simple thing a person could do on earth. It is
Yeah.
so obvious, and you're ignoring it. And
Like,
now you're building a whole episode around
Was
it.
there a grocery bag? Like, could we have done that? You know what I mean? Like, I would have shat in a bag.
Right.
And now
There
I'm making
were-
poop jokes.
There were so many things. I know. I'm like, we're all so mad to be here. I know it's nice that Ilana did that. It sucks that Bevers shit in her sister's shoe.
Yeah.
It sucks that Abbi had to take the fall. Well, okay. Wait, where are we
You
at?
just described the Roman Empire.
Wait, I got in a fight with my friends yesterday because of time
Hold
not
it.
being linear. to
What?
me. What do,
Oh, with
do you
the
guys
daylight
think
savings?
time is linear or no?
What do you mean by linear?
It
Like-
goes in order.
Like, yeah.
Well, how did we get here?
I don't know.
That's a
I'm
poop
intrigued
joke.
though.
Yeah.
Please.
What the hell?
I'm sorry, guys. I just it's been sitting with me. I think I'm avoiding talking about shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So I mean, the whole premise of this episode is like the punchline is someone pooped and we have to get rid of it, and someone pooped in a crazier place and we can't get rid of it. And I'm gonna rub my Lincoln log on a can, or it's like, and that's his penis. And it's like I really don't like stuff that has to do with like not sexuality, but like jokes that are all about like I'm crazy, I'm rubbing this on my butt, or it's like
Yeah,
a
it's
poop joke.
it's just like, it's
It's so
gutter.
simple.
Why do we
It's
think,
lowbrow comedy.
Why do we think we hate poop comedy?
Well, I was really trying to get into this because when I used to watch, when I used to have such visceral reactions to like jokes like that, like poop jokes or jokes that had to do with like rubbing stuff on your penis. It's like, what is so wrong with that? I think it's inherently like straight male culture,
Sure.
which is probably part of like the UCB thing of it all, where it's like straight guys love a poop joke, they love a dick joke, like that actually is still a big part of comedy for them. And initially, I was also like, does it have anything to do with like me battling with my own sexuality? Like, am I not comfortable enough in my body to find like rubbing something on my penis funny enough? And then I got more comfortable and it's like, actually, that's not the conclusion at all.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that.
I do think it's like these are kind of the reason this show works in a big way is that they can also make jokes for straight men too as women, which is rare. But that's a big part of alt comedy that they get to do, and that women didn't get to always do.
Sure. Yeah.
I am like, do I hate it because of my own internalized misogyny? Partially, for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like,
Where I'm like, ladies shouldn't talk like that.
oh, you're coming from that angle.
Yeah, where
Okay.
I'm like, I think I'm not laughing because I'm genuinely like, I'm not supposed to.
But you wouldn't laugh if
Okay.
a guy did that either.
No, I just hate everything.
Gentlemen
crude.
shouldn't talk like that.
Gentlemen shouldn't talk like that.
Absolutely.
I just like want society to seem like clean and organized and like no worries. So,
Right. Okay.
so to see it not be that way upsets me.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm more so, I just don't, I feel like it might be simpler for me. I guess I just don't, I think it's
It's too simple. It's lowbrow comedy.
it's gross, and I'm okay with like making jokes about gross things, you know. I watch The Substance. I just think like, yeah, it just feels like dumb.
Right, but
like we could. I
I'm
feel
like,
like
these are smart girls.
they're incredibly smart.
Yeah.
The comedy in some of these episodes is really nice and like hilarious from start to finish. So when this episode came, I was like, what happened? Like the stakes were high enough. Like we could have gone in a completely different direction with this hurricane episode.
Well, I would love your
100%.
angle on this because sometimes when I watch drag queens, I find a lot of the jokes funny, but sometimes they're just like the simple joke where it's like,
I see,
suck
yeah.
a cock.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Or
I
it's
always try to like steer away from that.
Right.
Well, and maybe this was funny the first time.
right.
You know, someone did it. Haha, I
Right.
poop. Oh, I've never heard that before. You know, but now we're like so far into the future, and we
Right.
can always go back and like watch people's comedy and stuff. Like it's oversaturated, right? And especially with like doing drag, like I always try to like avoid doing the same dance moves and making the same lip sync jokes and all this other stuff. But like I get that in some ways you can't avoid it. Like it's just gonna come up. But then it's also like, what can I do? One, to stand out, and two, to like, I don't know, like honor my intelligence. Like I
Right.
don't always have to think like shit and cock and Lord. Poop and penis are funny. You know what I mean?
No,
like
it's so
It's
true.
just like we could think a little harder.
Well,
That's
I
all
think
it
so
is.
much of live drag comedy, or like a lot of drag queens I see in the city, where it's like they just go for the really easy sex joke that's there,
Absolutely.
which is always like, they're like they talking about something hard. It's like, and not as hard as you, or
Yeah.
like it's something. It's always like there's just a really easy sex joke is there, which
Mhm.
I used to have such an issue with as well. It's like, especially doing comedy, or we're always really trying to think of like this more like elaborate joke structure, like a new principle of
Yeah.
comedy to bring in, or like just a new premise. But I think part of the art of drag is like making really crude jokes,
Mhm.
and just like, and that's actually like, that's the art. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily they have to be comedians or like make these like really like, they shouldn't be like stand-ups.
Yeah.
Like jokes they should be telling are like part of the art form of drag, which
I
is
think
like,
they see the success of like a lot of drag queens who are
Right.
comedians as well, and they're like trying to like emulate that, which I
Right.
get. I also hate, and while we're on the topic of this, like a lot of I've seen a lot of drag performances where people like bring up dildos or stuff
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's always just so I'm not grossed out by it.
Uh-huh.
It's just it's a little annoying. It's a little sad to see because it's like, oh, they can't think of a more creative way. Like, why didn't you bring a cucumber with a condom on? That would have been more
Right.
funny than you literally bringing a dildo we know you've had in your ass. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I feel like there's so many other things that could be in place of. Like, what if like even in this episode, like
Mhm.
what if it was like this nefarious thing that we didn't even learn about until like the last 30 seconds?
Yeah, that would
Like,
be
what's
great.
in the shoe?
If it's poop, then fine. But
Right. If the last 30 seconds is who shat in my shoe, rather than
the whole episode being like,
22 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I hated it.
I hated
I
it.
know.
I also am just like, how do you even shit in a shoe like that?
That's pretty hard to do.
Honestly,
Like the realism of it all, I was like,
if
wouldn't
you got it
sell
like that, you
sooner?
got it like
If
that.
you got it, like, I'm like, but also everyone has like amazing fiber, amazing like microbiomes here because we're all like doing perfect shits. No one's doing like, it's not like pieces. It's like,
So I need you to walk me through that.
right, because
Who's taking the perfect shits ever?
it feels like even Abby, after having a very upset stomach from eating a whole potato salad and then going to
Sure.
the bathroom, which I hate to be crass, but we have to in this episode, it'd probably be more diuretic, which isn't actually the correct word to use,
Diuretic,
but
it's crazy.
it's gonna be more liquidy in the bowl.
That's a
right?
good memoir title, by the way.
Right, diuretic.
That's crazy. Okay.
But that's a diuretic. Like, it's really just gonna like, it's gonna add a lot of water to
Yeah,
the stool.
food poisoning,
make it-
yeah.
exactly. That's not gonna come out as one piece. Alana, the way it's presented and the way she's able to leave it,
She
get it
picked
out
it
there,
up with her bare
she
hands.
picked it up with her bare hands as a solid log, a Lincoln log of sorts.
Oh, God.
She wrapped up and
I'm
she
gonna
brought it out of
throw
there. Right, and that's actually another plot hole I didn't talk about so much.
Well, they showed it at the end, like the end credits of how she did it.
Yeah, that was cool.
But it's not liquid. That's a
Yes. That is oh, I see what you're saying. The plot hole of it actually being
the kind of
a
shit it
log.
was. Right,
I
exactly.
loved
Ugh.
I loved Jaimé being like, it wasn't me. I have a low fiber diet.
Yeah,
that was fun. As a gay man to have a low fiber diet,
It's crazy.
it's like we know he's a top. Top reveal.
Oh my God.
And you would never guess that like metrosexual is a top.
Yes, I
And
agree with that.
I hate to use the word metrosexual for a gay man, but
No,
like, the
I
way
just-
he presents is like almost
I
European in a
love
way.
using metrosexual
Absolutely.
nowadays. It came back in. It came back in. 2014, that would have been taboo.
Absolutely.
But 2024,
They would have loved
the
that
metrosexual
show.
is back.
Let's cut to our second break, and when we get back, we'll talk about crushes. And we're back. Okay, so this episode, Abbi is so excited. Her crush Jeremy is over in her apartment for the first time ever. Like, this is her chance. Like, she's got to play it cool. Ilana's trying to help her. So Ilana starts getting mad at Abbi because Ilana's like, okay, it's been like an hour and you have yet to even flirt or talk to him. Meanwhile, Bevers is playing foot wrestling with him. Like, he's laying more ground than you. Like, get to the point. And so Abby's like, well, let's play truth or dare, and then I'll do dare, and then maybe you can like dare me to do something. And then, of course, Ilana ruins it by being like, I dare you to suck Jeremy's dick.
Oh.
So good.
For you guys, have you ever had a friend help you with a crush that you could think of?
Yes. Well, I think it's actually more observational. I mean, it's really not my crush, but what I've observed from others. When you ask someone to wingman you, they don't think about you. They're thinking about how they would approach a situation.
That is so real.
No, that's real. That's real.
It's like, it's their style.
I've been the wingman, and
Yeah.
I've been like, how do I make this about me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. No, yeah. No, yeah.
So when Ilana's like, how do I interpret this as Ilana? How would I want to flirt with Jeremy and be like, and what we're going to do is have sex right now through truth or dare.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, can you think about how your dear friend Abbi is going to be so mortified by the situation? You damn attention whore. Love her.
I love how she wrapped it up too. She's
Yeah.
like, okay, we're done with truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never had a situation where I haven't just like confessed myself. Cause it's like, come on.
You've never had someone wingman for you?
Like in a bar, like with a crush that I've had. Okay. I think it's different. Like if I have a crush on somebody in a bar on a night out, you know, that's different than if I'm friends with this person. If I see them, like in college, especially, like if I see this person every day, we're in the same friend groups.
You're
that
just
kind of stuff.
confessing?
You have to.
Kind of, yeah. It also like
It'd be so embarrassing.
it mitigates. Yes, it mitigates. It lessens the damage if it doesn't go well. You know what I mean? Like there's less people who know.
Right.
So there's like less like cleanup if
Right.
it doesn't go well, you know?
Right.
I'd rather be like, hey, we're dating now rather than, hey, they fucking hate me. So, you know, I'd rather do that.
Yeah. I guess as someone with a violently avoidant attachment style, I am not relating to that at
Okay.
all. I'm like, I would like go through a maze. I would travel the earth before I tell anybody how I feel.
Ooh, very Lord of the Rings.
I'm picturing like a Survivor game.
Right.
But that's just because I just watched the last episode.
Amelia, I feel like you'd be really good at that. Survivor.
Thank you so much.
I don't know why.
Sex would not be involved. There's no sex politics when it comes to her.
Oh, wow.
She can focus on the game.
That show is, sexless.
It's sexless. Oh, is that? I've never seen it.
It
Oh,
is.
Wait, what's the naked? Is that not the naked one? What am I thinking of?
that's Naked and Afraid. It's kind of there in the
Same
title.
thing. You know?
They kind of are naked. They kind of are naked. They're definitely
In Survivor?
afraid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They're in the woods.
I thought they were
Don't flirt on
naked.
me. Are they? I've been.
No, they're just wearing like not that much because it's hot in
No.
Fiji.
When someone brings up a reality TV show that two other people haven't seen, it's like.
All this to say, I have employed people and they're too direct and I don't like it.
Sure.
Or I'm always too direct. Like if somebody has a crush and I think I was at a birthday like a month ago and this girl was like, hey, like I'm trying to talk to this guy. Can you like get rid of this guy? And I literally just like called his name out and was like, come here. And it's like,
Well, wouldn't that incentivize you to do it yourself then?
no. And what a crazy question.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I do like your point where like you have to mitigate how much a damage a crush can have if it goes
Yeah.
bad. Where I do this thing where I tell everyone I've ever met, even random girls, that I have a crush on someone, and then when it actually inevitably goes bad for me, I have to
The entire community has
Yeah.
to know. Yeah.
I told my mom about you.
Right.
You have to like me back. Yeah.
oh god, it's so bad. Whatever. Sorry, another story I can't talk about.
Damn.
No, I know. We're really hitting it
You
for me.
can't be a podcaster. You can't talk about it. Yeah, whatever. Abbi forgives Ilana at the end of the day. Ilana and Lincoln choosing to go into Bevers' room and lick everything was nuts.
It's just like,
We'll lick, put it up their private.
like what happened?
What happened?
It's just
This isn't. This
And she
isn't
still
them.
won't date him. She still will not date him.
Yes, that's, like what the fuck?
I also don't understand why Lincoln was like, I'm into this, or why Ilana cares so much. I mean, I guess she cares about Abbi and she's like, this guy sucks, but still, it's like to take it upon yourself.
Okay, so when my best friend is battling someone, of course, I actually am going to attack that person stronger than my friend could. Because I don't
Yeah.
I have so much less to lose.
Yeah.
It's again like
Okay.
thinking about like how you would react to a situation. So like my cousin, can I say this again? Oh my god, I've never liked this. This is so open. Anyway, when someone I know, like they had this whole drama where one of their friends kind of like excommunicated them from the friend group because they like of a college scandal essentially. Then the college scandal was resumed and she continued being friends with this girl even after what she did to her.
Oh.
Every single day, my cousin's like, actually, I love this girl now. And I'm like, well, by the way, I hate her with all my heart. And
Absolutely.
I won't destroy her in any setting I'm
Yeah.
in.
The North
Absolutely.
remembers. Absolutely.
Well, it's always like that when your friend gets back with their ex and you're like, BP just spent
Absolutely.
2 months hating him. I want to kill him with a gun.
Right.
And now
Yeah.
you're like back with him. I'm so mad.
Especially because you as the friend don't benefit from anything.
Yeah.
Romantically or like anything from them.
You're
So
just
I
like,
get-
more drama now.
Yeah.
More drama.
Absolutely.
I thought we were done.
Mhm. I also,
Oh.
I feel like the justifications for this episode were off. Like it would have been one thing if they were high and they were doing
Uh-huh.
that. Like if they were tripping on shrooms, which I feel like they do often with these kind of episodes.
Yeah.
I know I've definitely seen like and I'm not saying Broad City needs to steal from other people and like their ideas, but I'm saying like I've seen episodes like where there's a hurricane and they're like tripping on shrooms or something. You know what I mean? Family Guy. That
Okay,
whole
yeah.
episode where Stewie's high as shit and he like sees Brian like turning into like a worm.
We're giving you Blake expressions back. It's because we're very familiar with Family Guide, and
Me-
we're just, of course,
Oh.
appreciating what you're saying.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm happy to be talking
You
to my
talk about
community.
Survivor. You talk about Family Guy.
Period.
They do get drunk, but
Oh.
they
do
are
they?
drinking. They're heavily
Yeah,
drinking.
they are drinking at the game.
I must miss that.
It's one red solo cup moment that implies that they've been drinking the whole night.
Gotcha.
I know it's not enough to build a story around.
Right.
Huh.
But whatever.
Well, especially because so much of I think that's a really great point because actually in this show there's so many premises where like it's them trying to get high
Yeah.
or are high and then
Chasing
falling.
pleasure. Yeah.
Exactly. It's very hedonistic. They have a lot of fun.
Mm. Good work. Good work.
Okay. I feel like enough of the bread and butter.
Yeah, please.
We have to know about you.
Okay.
Ooh.
Your 1 year anniversary in New York
Yes.
City.
Woo.
What is your
Broad City moment.
Okay. This actually happened maybe 1 week before I moved to New York, but
my
I'm going to
God.
say it anyway
No,
because
please.
it was like, okay, I'm ready to leave.
Broad City's everywhere?
Oh. Okay, so this is the first time I've ever hooked up in drag. Like I used to have like a an aversion to it because it was like a gender thing. It was like a gender journey, and like I hate sweating makeup off. It's like
Yeah.
overstimulating, like the wigs, like all of that. Like I've never wanted to hook up in a drag, but I was like, you know what? I have to do it eventually. This is the first time. I cannot stress this to you enough. This is the first time of me trying to hook up in drag. I think I met this guy. I can't remember if it was Grindr or if it was like I met him at like a club or something. I think it was a club because I would have been able to like field him a little bit better. FIELD. That was a gay joke.
What is FEILD?
FEELD is a gay app.
You know about the app too, by the way.
Oh, Fields.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have been able to like field him better if I was like meeting him on Grindr.
Uh-huh.
You know, I could have asked him more questions before we like hooked up or whatever. This is after one of my gigs. He comes back to my place with me, and I'm like, oh, I'm fish. I'm pure tuna. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, he wants me. Well, he was like, I'm bi. Like, you're so pretty. You're such a pretty girl. And like at this time, I'm like, this is like my first time like considering transition and stuff, and like I was like, okay, I have to suck his his penis. I have to make this a man fellatio. I tell him to come back to my apartment, and things are going well. He's like, I have a thing for like lace, and I'm like, okay, one second. So then I change because I'm a drag queen. I have literally every piece of clothing you can think of.
I have lace.
I have lace. So I put on my entire. I'm like a Victoria's Secret angel, like walking out there, and I'm like, bitch. I have hair down to my ass, and I'm in a white lingerie set, and it's all lace. And he's like, whoa, like, oh my God, like, you're so sexy. We started making out and stuff, and clothes come off, but we like take a break or whatever, which is natural. It just happens. We start talking or whatever. I'm like, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from like Colorado, blah, blah, but he's moved like a bunch. He's moved like at least 20 times. He was like,
oh my God.
I moved from Colorado to Phoenix to St. Louis to Idaho to like, no, like he kept going. And I was like, are you like a military kid or something?
Yeah.
Like what happened? He was like, no, I started moving like after I left my parents' house. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
Oh no.
no, I know.
He's on the run.
He's on.
What do you mean he's on the run?
He's on the run. He's like, yeah, there was this one moment when I was living in like, I don't know, Tallahassee. And he was like, I killed a man. And I was like, my first reaction, because I'm a clown for hire.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, me too. And he's like, no. Like this guy. And there's
like
nuance
killing
here.
Eve.
There's nuance. He was like, this guy was like touching on me, and like, I didn't want to, like, and I didn't feel like the cops were going to get there fast enough. So I cut the brakes on his car or something, basically. And then he ended up in the newspaper because he was dead. Like, he
God.
like crashed his car and like exploded. He's been on the run ever since. And they can't find who did it. And he literally pulled up his phone and was like, this is the article. Mind you, I am in a 30-inch middle part bust down wig, completely naked, in my twin bed in Chicago. The LED lights are flickering. My mind is spiraling. I said, is he hot enough to keep going?
Stop.
And I was like, okay, girl, here's what we're going to do. We're going to kick him out, and we're going to hope and pray that he doesn't remember how to get back to my apartment.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's my Broad City moment.
My
Oh
only
my
thought
God.
during that whole story is like 2 more articles and he can get verified on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm the serial killer. I'll tell you like what he actually did after that episode. It's crazy.
Did he ever contact you again?
No.
Oh my God.
I blocked him everywhere. Well, he texted me. He was like, "Sorry if I made it weird," and I was like, "It's fine. Like, I'm happy."
Sorry if I made it weird admitting I
yeah.
killed a man.
I was like, "I'm happy you told me."
Oh my God.
Because then it's like, I didn't think he was gonna kill me, but now I know he has the propensity to do so.
Right.
He has the skill. He has
Right.
He has the
First never strike
capability.
once. Yeah.
right. He could. And that's enough.
Most
and that's
never
enough.
strike once.
Yeah, that's enough to get a gawk down in the gutters.
Now, were you just like deciding, like, how close were you to being like, well, it's fine?
Well, it was like the first time that I hooked up with someone, and it was like completely gender euphoric. So I was like, okay,
Right.
maybe this is what it means to be a girl. I was like, wait, okay. I also have a horror story, so obviously I must be doing it right. Not to say I didn't have horror stories when I was a fucking dude, but like now it's like, okay, like my safety is in question.
That's not really Broad City. It's kind of like That's Killing Eve.
Yeah, it's NCIS. Absolutely.
SVU.
Yeah. I figured they could get into something like that.
Right.
That would totally happen to Ilana.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's so
Oh
funny.
my God. Well,
LOL. Do you have a Broad City moment?
there's no way
Did you tell
to
someone?
follow that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
Wait.
cool.
I was thinking about
Right.
And I'll
What
tell
do
you
you mean
another
by
one
that,
after.
Amelia?
I think it's cool to have experiences.
This reminds me of my grandma's Broad City moment, actually.
What's your grandma's
Not to
proxy
make it about my grandma.
Well,
But one time, so my grandma and her husband and my mother, and that's my grandpa, by the way, They all raised show dogs growing up, so they had 6 different Afghan hounds they would show around the country.
Okay.
And it was very competitive. Like, to have a show dog, it really like consumes your whole life. So my mom was always on the road with them. And one year they went to the Pennsylvania Dog Show. And they do different. You don't get to see this oftentimes when you watch the one dog show before the Super Bowl. But this year, like they have to go every single class of dogs, and they just like they bring them all. So all the golden retrievers will go out once, like the Chihuahuas. So find the best in the show before they go to a specific class of dogs. Mm-hmm. So when they brought out all the Afghan hounds, is my grandma, who is second nationally with her Afghan hound, and number one. Number one was like a little bit heavier set woman, 50 something, and she's had a little bit of health problems. So they famously walk the dogs. So everyone gets around, and then they all walk the dogs together at the end. My grandma's going pretty fast with her Afghan hound. She's catching some speed. Number one's trying to keep up with my grandma. As she tries to keep up with my grandma, she collapses and dies. And she won the Pennsylvania Dog Show.
The dead woman or
the
your
dead
grandma?
woman.
Oh. You know what? Justice for your grandma, because that kind of feels like a unfair advantage.
Right?
Like, can you imagine you die and you don't win?
It's like it's stronger than any IEP.
Maybe this time.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is in Texas. You guys have standardized tests. Did you have that rule where it's like if somebody dies, everybody gets like a 36 on the ACT?
What the fuck?
That's not a real thing anywhere, by the way.
No. So in Texas, I think it was for the tax test or the STAR test, but it was like if somebody in your class dies, everybody gets a 5 on the AP exam or something like that.
I would kill someone for that.
Well, every year.
I bring death.
Every year of school, somebody would be like, I'll die for everyone. And everybody was like, yes, you're the Jesus of our AP English exam.
The fuck?
Okay, so you know what? Let's just go to the last segment.
Where in Texas are you from?
Like a suburb of Boston.
Part.
Jesus Christ.
It was a joke, but like...
What was the joke? What was the joke?
Yeah, right.
I'm getting a call.
Okay.
So all right, our last segment of the podcast, Anania. Girl, get your Glock. It's rapid fire time. We're going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions. Don't think twice. Are you a schoolgirl or are you getting schooled, girl?
I'm a schoolgirl.
How are you?
Reduce, reuse, recycle, or Rihanna?
Reuse.
Who would you rather go down on, Michael Bublé or Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson.
Who would you want to have a sex dream within a sex dream with?
Michael Bublé.
Yes.
Where did you think Marla's 11th toe would be?
Her belly button. I was close.
Have you ever thought about how your friend's parents' divorce has affected their adult romantic relationships?
Absolutely, all the time.
Can I get a bite of that peace out?
Okay.
That's actually the correct answer.
Truth or dare?
Dare.
Wait, should we give you a dare?
Sure.
I can't think of any. Have you ever eaten the corn part of the cob?
No, the cob part of the corn.
And either way.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm from Iowa.
Why did you shit in my shape, please?
Why wouldn't I?
Period.
Was that it?
That's
it.
Kind
of good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
How'd I do?
Killed
Did I
it,
get a
girl.
five?
Killed that.
5.
Have you really had part of the cob?
Yeah,
I
on like
don't
an accident. It
I
wasn't
don't
like
know how to do that.
you like when
You just
so
bite really hard.
sometimes when you're cutting the corn, like you can, when you take the cob and you like rip it in half, sometimes some pieces come off, and I got curious.
Okay,
You know?
yeah.
That's all it is.
Oh.
I feel like
What
it would
did
be
it
good
taste like?
fiber.
It's just like
Protein.
it was like I don't know how to describe it. I'm sorry.
Okay,
No,
well,
I'm
listeners
sorry.
at home,
Hey.
now you have homework.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Everybody eat the cob part of corn this week.
I'll bring you a piece next time. I'll see you guys.
Anna and I, do you have anything exciting coming up you want to plug?
I can't announce it yet, actually,
Oh
which
my
is even more exciting.
Oh
but
my
yeah,
God.
So
That's
everybody
so
go to
funny.
your Instagram and
Yes.
set reminders or
Mhm.
notifications.
Yes.
Because it's coming.
Put the
it's
bell.
so exciting. How
Are you
fast
putting
things
out an
move.
album? Are you going to be a pop star?
Oh no, well not yet, but no,
Okay.
that's not the exciting news.
Oh my god, this is so exciting. Audiobook.
What? You want me to?
Is it a Broadway show?
No, guys, I can't say what it is.
You're going to space.
I'm going to space. Yes.
Well, thank you so
I got
much
that
for being on the
good
post.
influencer space deal.
Oh my gosh.
They're taking GAYDAR out to the moon.
Yes.
Yay.
I'm so glad GAYDAR found funding.
Oh, I actually have one. I have one question for you.
Yes.
Do GAYDAR on Ilana and Abbi?
Ilana's definitely bisexual. That I got like right away. I think Abby's straight.
Interesting.
I think she's homophobic in the way that like she might think some things, but she wouldn't say it out loud.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm gonna let you know right now. It's internalized homophobia.
Absolutely. Okay, wait. Maybe I might watch the rest of this. Okay. Serious.
Check out season 5.
Would you recommend that the most?
No, she just becomes a lesbian.
Oh, I live. Okay.
Yeah.
Not that good.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry we hated the episode. If you loved it at home, that's so valid. And we'll be back next week.
Bye. And make sure to check out our Patreon. And go ahead and rate and review this podcast 5, please. And for SEO reasons, add Broad City to your review. Love you.
Yeah.
Bye.